Hello, everyone. I just wanted to say hello and thank everyone for all the follows. Over 400 right now, and doesn't sound like much, but I'm extremely grateful to it. Um, I really hope these videos help some people and bring awareness to the cause for liver failure, and just help people stay healthier, or whatever you're fighting or going through, that maybe you find help and fight your way through it. That's all we can do, is keep going and keep fighting. But today's video, somebody had asked me to make a video on ascites. Ascites, can't speak well. Ascites is a fluid buildup. Usually you can experience with other diseases too, but it's found commonly in liver failure, cirrhosis especially. It's a fluid built up in the stomach. You can get it in the lungs, or you can even get edema in the legs. That's where fluid builds up in the legs. So why is this happening? What's going on? Well, essentially, the liver has hardened. So by the liver hardening, it's contracting the portal vein. Your portal vein is the main vein going through that organ, transporting the blood from your body into your heart into the rest of your body. And when you have portal hypertension, which is kind of like squeezing a straw, and it blocks that blood flow, so it's like having high blood pressure in your liver. Definitely not good. And with that hypertension, it can cause things like varices. Those are, think of it like you're driving down a highway and the cars are backed up and everybody starts driving through cornfields to get around. Yeah, they may get where it's going, but you may hit a tractor or two along the way, and well, that's kind of the idea. These veins shouldn't be there, and they go, and they can burst and leak into the esophagus and cause internal bleeding, and it could be fatal if not treated quickly. But what causes the fluid? Well, what's happening is your blood's carrying the fluids and everything, and is trying to get through that portal vein, and it's getting constricted. So kind of like a sponge, it's squeezing the water out and these fluids out. And there's a couple membranes that protect your stomach linings and your other intestines, and that fluid builds up in between that. And though that fluid, and I speak from experience on this one, can get infected. I myself have had about 8 or 9 thoracentesis. That's where fluid builds up in the lung. At one point I had to have a chest tube in because I was filling up so quickly, and the fluid kept on turning gram positive, which is a fancy way of saying real nasty. So like staph infections and things like that. I've also had fluid build up on the stomach. First time I went in, I had so much fluid, they pulled like 5 liters off my stomach, which, if you imagine, that's, 2 of the 2-liter bottles of soda in a 1-liter bottle. That's a lot of fluid. So what happens is this fluid builds up in your body, and you can get what's called pitting edema. It's the same idea, but it's in the legs. Sometimes I've gotten it in my arms too. Along the lining of the outside of the stomach, things like that, but most commonly in the legs. Basically, what you can do, you'll notice the swelling, and you push on it a bit, and that indentation stays. Initially, the fluid built up on my legs were so bad that I was literally leaking water. Excuse me. I was literally leaking fluids out of my leg from the skin. It was quite nasty and terrible. So how do we stop ascites? Well, ascites. Sorry, did it again. Well, one thing we can do is eat better, limit our fluid intake. You can also lower your salt intake, because all those things can cause that fluid to come out. Also, working closely with your doctor. If you have liver failure, seek out a hepatologist, which is a liver doctor. Unfortunately, mine is 4 hours away from me. It's the closest one in the area. There's not too many of them. And they can work with you on a proper diet. They can work with you on giving you medicines like diuretics, like Bumax. There's other diuretics too that they can give to help with this. One's called spironolactone. What happens is the diuretics can lower your potassium level in your body. So it's kind of like a catch-22. You get rid of one, but you lose something else. Well, the spironolactone is supposed to protect that from happening. So, but long and the short, I mean, if you get fluid built up and you notice your stomach pushing out, and sometimes it can happen quick, sometimes it can happen slowly, you should definitely seek medical attention. Go to your local ER, to your doctor, your GI doctor, whatever it may be. Go seek help and try to figure out what's going on there. Another thing that can happen is hepatic encephalopathy. Sorry, lovely words. HE. Basically, what that is, that's bile buildup in your body like ammonia, and it can affect your brain, and it can cause you to have emotion. Your emotions can change quickly, cause you to do things you don't normally do. Brain fog is a pretty common thing that we get when you have liver failure. That's, you hunt for words. You might forget, something that a word you might know here and there. But as it gets worse, you can experience things like having a hard time doing simple math, getting a sentence out. You could slur your speech. All those are warning signs that if you experience those, or if you notice a loved one experiencing those, they should go into the ER and be seen. That is something that's important, because if it continues and that ammonia builds up in the brain to a point, it can cause a coma or even brain damage. There's been situations where I don't remember saying something or doing something, or my personality may change. And it's tough. It's tough because you become somebody else. I remember 2-3 years before I was diagnosed, I felt like somebody else was in the driver's seat. I mean, really, I did things that were out of my character. I acted different. I made mistakes. I did things that, otherwise I wouldn't have normally done. But unfortunately, it's something you have to live with, and I don't remember most of it. I mean, those 2 to 3 years are kind of a blur to me. Bits and pieces come back here and there, but a lot of it I don't remember. Which makes sense now looking back, knowing what I have and knowing what I've been through and everything. But when it was happening, it was extremely difficult for family members and stuff like that, because they just saw you changing, and they just took it as, you're out of control, or did whatever, or acted funny, or, it was a difficult situation. So if you've experienced this, or you see a loved one that you notice signs of like fluid building up on them, and they're getting kind of lost where they're at, and they're kind of slurring the speech, or they're acting out of the normal, or extreme changes in personality, have them seek help. Maybe it's not just something they're doing, maybe it's their body's trying to say something. So that's important. And last thing, this is October is Liver Awareness Month. I know we don't hear much about it. There's a lot of other good causes that, every month has different days and things like that. But liver awareness is October. So try to eat a little healthier this month. Liver disease is actually a lot more common than people think. It starts with fatty liver disease, which is completely reversible. That is something that a lot of people actually have, and they don't even realize it, just from eating fast food, not eating right, taking over-the-counter certain medicines, drinking a little too often. And no, I'm not here to preach about drinking, but if you do have liver issues, definitely do not want to pick up a drink, because that's going to stick a nail right into that liver. And you want to try to stay healthy and try to stay as positive as absolute possible. And that's the key. I mean, how do you do that? I don't know. It's not easy. Financial strain is tough. I was able to get disability, but there's no programs out there for people who are disabled. There's no, other than parking. I mean, you can get a pretty good parking spot, but that's about it. They don't give discounts for disabled people unless you're a veteran, which, I mean, they should give disabled veterans discounts, or veterans in general. Definitely not taken away from that. But it's very hard to live. I mean, I remember when I was first put in the hospital, I went almost a year in the hospital, and I couldn't pay my bills. I couldn't work. I had no income coming in. It was a struggle. There you are sitting in a hospital fighting for your life, and you're worried about how to pay your rent, or worried about how to pay your car insurance or your cell phone bill. It's difficult. It's not an easy thing. I had started a GoFundMe page way back when I first got sick, about a year and a half ago, and it didn't get much attention at all. I mean, I got a few dollars out of here, and I was out of it, and I was absolutely grateful for what happened. But that's definitely not a good substantial thing to be able to pay your bills. I had one person, I was going through some liver stuff, that gave a nice amount of money to help me out, and it was a true blessing, because it helped me get a car and helped me go take care of some things I needed to do. So those things were absolute blessings. But yeah, it's hard. So if you're going through it and need to talk, I mean, send a message. So just keep fighting, keep going. It's all you can do. I mean, there's got to be brighter sun tomorrow, right? Can't rain every day. So rain brings rainbows, brings sunny days, brings new beginnings. Keep fighting, keep going. All right, once again, thank you for everybody who has followed me. I'm now like 426 or something like that, and that is a huge blessing. I'm hoping to get it to 1,000. That would be absolutely great. I hope this helps somebody, and everybody have a wonderful week and great rest of your October. All right, take care.